Welcome to Reflections, a program where we discuss values and virtues for the transformation of the individual and the society in general. I am Father George Ehusani, and I have with me in the studio again my friends Ellen Umoru and Gerald Umoru. Ellen and Gerald got married just 1 week. Very fresh couple. Sacrament of matrimony. Congratulations once again.
Thank you, Father.
Ellen and Gerald live in Ottawa, Canada. She's a health personnel and you're a computer person. Now, right now at this time, a lot of Nigerians are leaving. Nigerian medical personnel, Nigerian professors, Nigerian computer engineers, people are living in droves because of the difficulty in the country. The economy is down. Professors are begging for a living. Health professionals, doctors are begging for a living, whereas countries are asking for them and looking for them. And then people are prepared to go to countries where, even if they are not well respected, a graduate is ready to go and be a cleaner somewhere, if at least he will get his daily bread and have some security around him. Because in addition to the worsening economy, it's our security problem.
Yes.
You can hardly travel from here, there, and feel safe.
Yeah.
And the roads are horrible. But I want to get your perspective as people who are already in the diaspora and who have been there for some time. I want to get your perspective. What do you have to say to people, especially those who are not well qualified and who are desiring to live? As you know, numerous Nigerians perish in the Mediterranean every day.
Yes.
Trying to escape to Europe through the Sahara Desert. Others who even go through the right channel, through the embassies, and got to Europe or America, some are not well qualified. Maybe they go for a visit and decide to stay, and then are running away from police. And so, what do you have to say to people who, a lot of young people, if you go to our secondary schools now and a lot of universities, almost maybe 50, 60, 70% of people just think that their hope for a meaningful life is coming to join you guys in Canada or America or Europe.
So from our perspective,
Yes.
right? So we live in Canada.
Yes.
And to emigrate to Canada, they have a good immigration system where usually those who apply to go there, they are going through the right channels, either through school or as experienced workers here.
So either to go to school,
Yes.
or as experience. Now, to go to school, is it scholarships available all over the place?
No, so that's the tricky part. You have to have the money to pay for the tuition, and that is the hard part, coming up with that money to pay for either a master's program or undergraduate or any other program. It is very expensive because international students pay a lot of money.
More than the Canadians. An average course in an average university, like some of the universities that are known, not the backyard ones, but some of the universities that are known, will cost like how much a year?
In terms of dollars, it's
Canadian dollars, yes.
Yeah, $20,000 a year.
$20,000. That's up to $18,000 US dollars, right?
Yeah, it's about let's say 16, 17,000
US dollars.
US dollars
in 1 year.
In 1 year. And that is still excluding cost of living.
Oh,
like
books.
feeding. And
That's just tuition.
That
Yes.
is just tuition. Yeah.
So you are talking of tens of millions of naira then?
Yeah.
You're talking of tens of millions of naira
Yes.
to spend 1 year as a student if you are not, if you're a foreign student that won't have scholarship before you leave home.
Correct. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's one way of doing it, and another way is to get to have your education here.
You have your education, so you are a professional already.
You're a professional here with work experience, and I think the minimum is at least 1 year work experience here, or any other. It could be here, it could be anywhere else. So when you come in, you're already a working professional, and from our experience, we find that those who do it that way, they have a better chance of actually finding good work.
Okay, those who are already professionals from where they were,
yes,
and who come in as professionals,
because all that might be required is to do a few certificates, here and there, and because you already have the work experience, then it's easy to assimilate into the Canadian workforce. And for those who go in as students, obviously you have to graduate first, and when you do graduate,
you start looking for a job.
Yeah. So it's a bit straightforward in Canada, because personally we haven't met anyone who maybe applied for a visa and stayed. And
now, so Canada is so much easier than the US. In the US, you go for student, you have a student visa, you can't easily change it to stay.
No. So in the US, it's very difficult. In the US, it's very difficult, and I think people run into issues when they go to the US, either for school or, and I think even the UK is a bit easier too.
In the UK, you can also go for study if you are ready to pay.
Yeah,
because it's even more expensive in the UK than in Canada.
Yeah,
right. It's too. I mean, £15,000, for example.
Yeah, it's still about the same. Yeah. But also I think in the UK as well, if you have experience here, or if you're able to find a job from here, then it's a bit easier.
So what you are talking about is you either have the money, and the money is in not just millions but tens of millions.
Yeah.
Or you have the qualification and experience.
Yes.
But a lot of people who desire to leave have neither the money nor the qualification and experience. That's my own experience. A lot of people who desire to leave have neither the money nor the experience or whatever. There is this dimension of some Nigerians wanting to marry some Canadians and then
that's another way too, but I think it's more difficult. It's very tricky, and
I think they have a stronger vetting process if you're coming in
to marry.
Yes, if that's your route.
Does the Canadian come here to get married to the person before they go, or?
No, I think you can be married and you have to show your proof of marriage, but then they back check your proof of that relationship. So you can't just say, oh, I'm married to a Canadian and I'm going to move over. You have to show that there's a legitimate relationship that you've had and eventually led to marriage, and now you're moving over to...
Do we have cases of people who marry a Canadian to get to Canada, then 1 year after, 6 months after, they change their marriage partner? They dump that marriage.
Yeah, of course, it does happen,
So it means the marriage was fraud in the first place.
Yeah. It happens, and it's going to happen, because it's just one of those things, Now I don't know what the consequences of doing that is. I haven't really looked into it. But
I'm even told, worse than just marrying a Canadian, I'm even told that there are people who are immigrating to Canada now pretending that they are gay and that their people will persecute them if they remain here. And that a number of young Nigerians are going to Canada pretending that they are lesbian or gay. And using the Nigerian law that says that you go for 40 years imprisonment, and that they are easily given asylum.
Yeah, I'm not familiar.
You are not familiar with such.
But I think, if anything, because I guess you're talking about the
somebody who is not gay. She's not lesbian, but she uses it because she knows that those places are ready to welcome people who say, "Oh, I'm persecuted in my place because I am gay, I'm lesbian."
But I think with that, the conversation we were having earlier about the type of life you get, because after you do whatever process, after you do get to Canada, is now what type of life are you going to have, right? So if you cannot, or if you don't have the funding or the qualifications to then, like, regardless of your process, get a job that can sustain you, you're outside of Nigeria, but then
you'll be on council support.
Council?
Yeah. Okay, the UK uses council. You'll be on
like government support.
Yeah. Because you're an refugee kind of thing.
But I think at the end of the day, it comes to survival, right? You know,
people will survive by any kind of thing.
People just want a good life for themselves and for their families.
That takes me to the question. Isn't it a sad thing that talented Nigerian people should be reduced to those kind of things before they survive?
It's very sad, and
it comes back to our government here, because if there was, I guess, if life wasn't unbearable here, then people would not subject themselves to dying in the Mediterranean or, you know, like trying to get out as refugees, to leave this country to have some form of life. Because I guess it's assuming that those people, they're saying that I'm going to die here anyways, so then am I trying to get out and then, you know, by some luck have a better life than
those
what
of
I
you
have
who
here.
are there, I mean, and you are there legitimately, and you hear of Africans and Nigerians dying in the Mediterranean, struggling with the police, the immigration police, and so on, so being chased up and down or hiding up and down. What does that make you feel?
For me, it's very depressing, and you hear about it, and it's more depressing because you know there's not much you can do to help, you know, and you almost understand why they are going through all that, just because they want a better life for themselves and their families.
What does it? Yes, you feel sad about that, but does it also make you have a sense of gratitude to God because you went legitimately?
Oh yes, yes, of course, yeah. We always give thanks to God every day that we had the opportunity to go there to school, and you know, and to follow the legal process of, you know, of staying there. But yeah, we feel very sad for those who have to.
We have to go into all kinds of crooked. I mean, I keep saying to myself, I heard it I've heard it over and over, that somebody who is legitimately not gay, not lesbian, but he has to tell a lie that he is, and maybe pretend to take some pictures, pretending to be kiss a fellow man or whatever, that he is gay, in order that it's so humiliating. I mean, it's sad, and we wish our country were not reducing people to that level.
Exactly.
Yeah. Otherwise, this is a beautiful country.
Yeah.
That has been badly managed.
Yes.
I mean, when I think of those of you in Canada and what you have to go through to keep warm, right?
Yes. Yeah.
There are parts of Canada that 40 degrees below zero.
Correct.
Yeah.
And that's the depressing part, that it's a beautiful country, you know. We have everything we need, you know, in terms of resources and food, you know. Just better managed, you know. Who knows what the limit, you know, would be.
I mean, we grow food around the year. You guys grow food only a couple of months of the year.
Exactly. Yeah.
The poor people in this country can manage without AC and without heater.
Yeah.
There's no heater in this country anyway. But poor people can even manage through the hot season without AC.
Yeah.
And they are not going to die as a result. And the topography of this country. Have you taken her through Abuja to see the topography of Abuja? If it was really well done, I mean, it's one of the most beautiful places in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, have you ever watched the movie Sound of Music?
No, I haven't.
No, you have not.
No.
Okay, Sound of Music was shot somewhere in Austria. And if you go to that part, it's a beautiful, the images in Sound of Music are just beautiful. But I know the area. And I'm just comparing Abuja to that area. Hills and valleys and crevices and, you know, and so on and so forth. and greenery.
No, we're driving around. I think that was yesterday or the day before, and I just pointed and look at how beautiful that scenery is.
It's beautiful. Though we are destroying, because of bad leadership, we are destroying the topography. We are putting houses where houses should never be put. We are blocking waterways.
Yeah.
We have a bunch of irresponsible people that run our affairs and destroy everything good and render the citizens beggarly and
Yeah.
So what do you now say about the place of leadership? Because when you think of Canada, what's the difference between Canada and here? Is it not leadership?
Yeah. Good leadership. Yeah.
Good leadership. So what happened that we can't have good leadership here? What's your take on it?
Well, I won't say I have enough knowledge to say what happened, but I would say that at some point, people, I guess, stopped holding their leaders accountable for their actions. Like it became like, I guess we put like human beings over like our country or our success, because
individual or group good over the common good.
Yes.
Yeah. But also corruption, it's been the main issue in the country. Corruption. If you can get rid of corruption,
we'll make progress.
You'll make progress. Yeah.
But I guess going off that, people always say like, you say corruption, but then it's possible to say like maybe other developed countries, there is some level of corruption there as well, right? So that means corruption is not only...
No, but the difference is that in the US, in Canada, the corrupt person is 90% of chances will be caught and dealt with. The challenge is that in Nigeria, 90% of chances perhaps the corrupt person will not be caught. And that's the difference.
Yeah, and it goes to what she said, that
accountability.
Even though we know that corruption is happening, we still just turn a blind eye and we.
So we're back to leadership.
Yeah, we pretend.
Who is it that is responsible for making corrupt persons pay for their corrupt act? The leader.
Yeah.
So if corrupt people go off the hook over and over, then corruption now defines
the country.
Yeah.
So it's leadership. And while you guys are enjoying the peace and security and Canada is one of those places that I do point out as one of the most secure places, where I don't know what it is now, but when I used to be in America, that much more than even US, Canada is a place where some houses have only that glass door. And really, you just click that glass door and that's all. And you go to work and come back because you know you will meet your things
intact.
And I just say, Lord, when will our country be that? But you see, a place is safe like that because basic provisions are made for the poor.
Yeah.
So they have no business breaking into the house of their neighbor. Yeah. So you guys need to learn a lot from there so that you can come back to fix. You are still young, can come back to fix. Or you don't dream about coming back to fix this country.
No, we do, and that is the hope, right? But when you look at it, is will you even be given the opportunity to fix?
Nobody gives you opportunity, you take it. No, I mean that's it. Nobody will give you opportunity. If you love your country enough, you seize it. That's why they say seizing opportunity. Nobody will give it to you. What it means is that you have to look at what opportunities there may be, then you say, this one, I will seize this one and come and do something. And I do believe that I do believe that the greatest diaspora challenge today is how those of you who are privileged to be in the US, in Canada, Europe, will mobilize yourselves to eventually come here and fix it. Even if it's not taking power immediately, if it is to come and hold leaders accountable, you can do that.
Yes.
Because you're learning how leaders are being held accountable.
Correct.
So you can come and form networks that hold local government chairmen accountable, state government accountable, federal government accountable. And you can begin from there. And if people now appreciate what you are doing, they can say, come and lead us. Yeah.
And we hope one day, that would happen.
Because I look at you guys and I say, look, you guys are doing well in Canada. But with the right conditions, you will do even better here.
Correct. Yes.
True or false?
True.
You are doing well in Canada. Some of our boys are doing well, girls are doing well in US, in Europe. But with the right kind of leadership and conditions, you will do much more. If you can make millions in Canada, you can make tens of millions here. Because we have all the resources. We have the good weather. We even have hardworking people.
Yeah.
So, before we close now, I want you to say a word to people who are desiring to join you in the diaspora. A word of advice to people, especially those who may not be qualified and are seeking to come, about the fact that things are not just as you cross the border, you reach heaven as you cross the border. A word on that.
I think the major thing I would say is having a plan, regardless of how little that plan is, because like you said, just getting to a different country or a country that has opportunities does not automatically mean that your life automatically becomes better. So just, setting a plan to meet with people that are there, that can help you start
counsel you on
yes
career counseling and other things.
Yes.
Or just to tell you how things are done, and how to get certain things, and how to navigate, the system. Yeah, that's what they call it, navigating the system.
Yeah.
So if you have somebody who can guide you as you navigate the system, it will be much easier for you.
And that guiding is right from here before you leave.
Yes.
Exactly. And that's what she means by having a plan, So you should have a plan. You should have somebody you can connect with when you get there, who can guide you in navigating the system.
To what extent do you guys have networks in the US, in Canada, networks of Nigerians that are passionate about Nigeria? Apart from what we see on social media, there's a lot of people are insulting one another about Nigeria and blah, 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 all kinds of it. But do you have network of professionals who are planning for a better Nigeria? And what I see on social media is not enough. Kind of a network says, look, let's be planning to get back to Nigeria within the next 20 years and change things. Let's see how we can work, because there's a lot of power in networking.
Yes.
Is that already existing, or is an idea that you would want to survey?
If it does exist, I'm not aware of it, at least not yet. But yeah, I think that's a good idea.
For me, those who transformed India are people from the diaspora who went back to India with their knowledge, with their technology, with everything to change it. Those who transformed Singapore, of course, they had a good leader, but the people he sent to different countries to study, Oxford, Harvard, blah, 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 they are the ones who went back with their knowledge to transform. The biggest failure, somebody has identified, the biggest failure of Nigeria is that we have perhaps the best qualified people in the US, but we have not succeeded in giving them a sense of patriotism and nationalism to want to work together to come home. So everybody is on his own, just fending for themselves, taking care of their immediate family and so on and so forth, but not thinking of Nigeria, because we have not helped them to have that sense of Nigeria. Do I give you that challenge?
Oh, yes.
So let's end this by giving you a challenge to say, look, I call it the Diaspora Challenge, right?
Yeah.
The Diaspora Challenge, that you go back and say, look, beyond lamenting and complaining about Nigeria, what can we do here to pool our resources together, human resources together, and start working to change our country? One, from a distance, and then tomorrow, some of us will now actually come home. Right?
Yes.
And then when you start giving birth to children, don't forget to teach them that they are from somewhere, so that they don't get lost.
Yeah.
That you are from somewhere, and there are values in the place where you are coming from that our people cherished.
Yeah.
Can you name one or two of those values that your people in Eket, your people in Akwa Ibom cherish, which you would like to sell to the rest of the world? Really, any values?
Well, one of that is, at least something my mom always used to say, which you had said, is do not forget where you're from.
Do not forget where you're from.
So, in terms of like not forgetting your people, not forgetting, I guess, your language, not forgetting advice that was given to you that you can give to other people, and then more so always coming back. The more you come back to where you're from,
the
you're
more
not
you
too
recover
far.
your sanity.
Yeah.
Actually, I mean, it's my people say that when the hair is bushy, you take it back home. I mean, because of that's where you find your sanity, where you're from. Yeah. What are the values you think that you Canadians should learn from you, who is from Nigeria?
Yeah, family values.
Family values.
The closeness with family, the interaction with family, immediate family, extended family. That's unity with family.
Family values.
Yeah.
Any other that you can come to your mind?
And also religious values too. Because
Spiritual, religious values.
Yeah, because Nigeria is a very religious and spiritual country. So those religious values too.
Even though we are bastardizing it with all this nonsense so today, but
but
the
those
core
religious
values
values are still there.
We recognize God,
Yeah.
and we recognize that we are spiritual beings. We are not just material beings.
Correct, and we should remember those values too.
Good.
Yeah.
So on this note, we'll be bringing this discussion to an end. I've been speaking with Ellen and Gerald Umoru, the newly married couple who live in Ottawa, Canada, and we have been discussing the Diaspora Challenge. What is it that they as Nigerians can teach people who are in Canada and teach their children, and eventually what is it that they can learn from there to bring back to transform our sick country? And I pray that our country will be someday better, that you'll be not only coming back on holidays, you'll be bringing tourists.
Amen.
You'll be bringing your friends, tourists, to Nigeria because the place is safe and the place is beautiful. And you, who is from originally from Kukuruku land, you know, it was celebrated in Europe about the Kukuruku Hills.
Yeah.
Kukuruku Hills. I mean, beautiful place that your daddy and mommy, they are from. I look forward to a day when there is safety. You didn't go there this time.
No.
Because you are afraid of security. I look forward to a day when you will be able to come back home and take your friends around this country in peace and security. Amen. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Father.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
And have a safe trip back to Canada.
Oh, thank you.
Very much.
And someday I would